Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Kelsey. I'm with Women in Analytics, and I am here today with Melanie Sims. Melanie submitted a visualization for the 2023 Data Connect Conference Data Visualization Competition. She's in the top 10. So if you tuned in earlier this week, we will be going live with a handful of our top 10 candidates. They'll walk you through the viz that they've created, how to interact with it, any background information they'd like to share, and then we will kind of wrap it up with a overview of how you can vote for your favorite. So if this is your first experience hearing about the DataViz competition, I can give you some background around that. We host this competition every year for the Data Connect conference. We get hundreds and hundreds of submissions in. We narrow it down to a top 10. So Melanie is in our top 10. And then from that top 10, it is up to you to, explore and get to know these vizzes and then vote for your favorite. The top 5 will have an opportunity to join us in Columbus for the Data Connect conference and present their viz live in the DataViz gallery. And then the top 3 from there will win cash prizes. We have fun little trophies and some bragging rights as well. So I am going to turn it over to Melanie, and she will talk a little bit about her viz, forced labor in our global supply chain.
Thank you, Kelsey. Perfect. So the screen is shared. So hi, I'm Melanie. I was interested in the Women in Analytics Data Viz competition. I actually heard about it through a program I'm in right now, through Mika, which is a college in Maryland. The program is specifically focused on data analytics and visualization, hard word. And our professor told us about this contest, so I thought I would enter. And I was surprised to know that I had gotten in the top 10, but I love the topic I chose. It's super relevant to the work that I do. I work in supply chain, and although I'm not seeing, these atrocities in my work, I'm in logistics. I did learn about it in school, and I am aware that these things happen, and I wanted to bring it to the forefront of other people's minds who may be shopping and not realize the impact of their decisions when they're shopping. So I'll kind of walk through the dashboard. I formatted it in kind of a long scrolling fashion. And really the metaphor that kind of ties the whole dashboard together is this follow the string kind of deal. So as you go down, there's kind of a string or a thread that kind of threads the whole presentation together, and is a metaphor for saying, okay, follow the thread when you're shopping. Think about the supply chain behind that t-shirt you're getting, all of the hands that touched it, all of the lives that it impacted. So yeah, that's kind of the intro. There's a couple different visuals. This was also one of my first times using Tableau, so it took so much longer than I ever expected. So if you're ever planning on entering one of these competitions or building a dashboard like this, just know it's not as quick and easy as it may look when it's all put together. So these are all the companies that were in the data set, which was supplied by an organization called Know the Chain. They do research to try to evaluate companies and rate them on their supply chain transparency and the different risks that they have in their supply chain for being in forced labor or for having forced labor in their supply chain. So a couple different things that they evaluate: what puts a company at risk, if the company is using high-risk materials, if they're sourcing from high-risk locations, or if they have this transparency and governance piece, if they're missing that. So if they're not transparent about where they're getting their materials from, that's a big red flag too. So some high-risk materials, these are identified by the US Department of Labor as high risk, and they're taken into the account when Know the Chain is rating different companies. So some of them are bamboo, cashmere, cotton, natural rubber, silk, viscose, wool. These are obviously extremely common in any fabric that you're going to buy, any t-shirt. But it's important to note that when you see these materials, maybe think about, is the company disclosing where they're sourcing these from? Do they have that transparency and governance piece? High risk locations. So these were identified by Know the Chain as high risk locations due to their, different statistics on trafficking in that location, slavery in that location, and other kind of political factors that go into their decision. But something cool that I added to this piece is if you hover over the location of interest, a pop-up comes up that kind of tells you a little bit more about that location. And this was all taken from research from Know the Chain and what was the name of it? Anti-slavery, so Walk Free. So that's kind of a fun piece. A lot of this was also created in Adobe Illustrator and then inputted into Tableau. So that's a useful tip too. If you want to kind of add this artistic side to your dashboard, I'd suggest using Adobe Illustrator. And then the last piece, transparency in government. So this is really, you can distill it down to, are they transparent about where they're sourcing from? And something you could do with this portion of the dashboard is click around and see the different ratings. So you have commitment in government, transparency and risk, monitoring, recruitment, remedy, purchasing practices, and worker voice. And these are all ratings from Know the Chain on these different categories. So if you kind of scroll over, you can see the score for that specific company. So it's fun if, you shop a lot from Lululemon, come in here and say, looks like they're doing pretty good. They have a lot of transparency about where they're sourcing their materials. So next time you go into Lululemon, you could feel good about buying those yoga pants. And that's what I'm hoping that users will get from this, just kind of that one step further thought process into their shopping experience. So yeah, that is it for today. Thank you, Women in Analytics, for allowing me to share this information and be a part of this competition. I think it's really great, especially as data visualization is up and coming and becoming more of, a full field in analytics.
Yeah, this is great. I am so happy that we're taking an opportunity to kind of walk through some of these because like the string makes sense now that you said it. But when I was looking at it originally, I was just like, oh, that's kind of like a cool design element. But it's very cool that it has, some background and, it wasn't just slapped on there. It was, you had a meaning and a purpose behind it. So thank you for walking us through that. I think this topic is really interesting and something that's near and dear to my heart as well. So I was excited to see this in the top 10. So the next thing I will do is show everyone how they can vote for their favorite. So let me share my screen here. Perfect. So what you can do is you can go to the dataconnectconf.com website. Up here in the top corner, there's a more drop down, and you can go to the DataViz competition. Voting is open until the end of the month, March 28th. So once you hop onto this page here, you can scroll down to the top 10. You can click through each one of these. There's the title, who created it. And then if you scroll down here to the bottom, you get just a little bit of background around the submission and then a link to actually go in and explore the submission as well. So as you are, navigating through each one of these, and again, these are in no particular order. They were just uploaded in this order. So this is not a reflection of, where they're standing at the moment. But yeah, go in there and you can kind of sort through these, interact with each one, and then you can cast your vote here for your favorite. Like I mentioned, voting does close on March 28th. So the sooner you can get your vote in, the better. And then our top 3 will win cash prizes. First place is $1,000. Second place is $750, and third place is $500. So a lot at stake here. And then you also, in the top 5, get an opportunity to join us in Columbus for the Data Connect conference as well. So thank you so much, Melanie, for submitting. I think that this is such a cool project, and it was really great to chat with you a little bit about the meaning behind it and all of that good stuff. We have a couple of questions coming in around the website link, so I'll be sure to include that in the comments. We're streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, so I'll follow up in the comments with those on the website that everyone can go to vote. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks again, Melanie, for sharing a little bit more about your viz.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too. Bye.